I've done most of my lobbying, my public affairs work in the UK and the EU, and that works very well. The principles are the same, but the broad principles are the same throughout the world. You have to put together your message, you have to marshal your arguments and your evidence, you have to identify the key decision maker who makes that decision. You need to identify the people around that person who influence them, and then you need to put that case to those people. So the broad principles are the same, they work anywhere in the world. Getting access to key decision makers is often the hardest part of the whole process. You know what you want to say, you know you've got a really good case, but you just can't get in front of that individual. Sometimes that's a case of who you are. If you are a giant multinational company, you're going to get there. Eventually, you're going to get there. If you're not in that category, then it is a case of really just being persistent, working your way through the system, understanding that it's going to take time, being persistent, making those phone calls, and eventually you're going to get there. And once you get there, you have to make the most of that opportunity because you may not get there again. Increasing the chance of success in a meeting is really all about doing your homework. So you know who you are, who your client is, what you want to say, you put your argument together. But you've also got to have a look at the person you're going to see. Is he or she a person who likes detail, or are they broad brush? Are they people who like to listen or people who like to talk? What's their attention span like? What is their time frame? If you do that research and you know exactly how long you've got, both in advance and when you walk through that door, how long have you got? If you know you've got 10 minutes, you can do it. But you need to do your research and then check up once you walk through the door. Know about the individual, know their leanings, and then make the most of the time that you have got available. The secret of success is to do your homework, putting together all the background. You know, public affairs is primarily about the boring stuff. It is about doing the research, getting the third-party endorsement, putting together a pack that is heavyweight and persuasive. Then, of course, it's about the individual. You, as a public affairs professional, have got to be credible, likable, persuasive, persistent. A large part of what we do is being able to persuade people to think the way that we think or our clients think. If you can do that and you've got a credible case, then you should succeed. Most organizations use public affairs for two main reasons, either threat or opportunity. So to give you an example, if you were the nuclear industry in Germany, you found yourself pretty well closed down overnight. The German government turned their face against nuclear and they had nowhere to go. Whereas in France, of course, the nuclear industry is thriving. More topical, and something that applies across, I think, all environments and all societies, is the whole obesity and sugar agenda. So the food manufacturing industry, fast food industry, they find themselves in the spotlight and to some degree under threat because the products which they produce, if not wisely used, can cause health problems. So they need to explain it's not actually their product that's the problem, it's the way that people overconsume and maybe don't match it with enough exercise to obviate the effects of the calories they're taking in. So that's a threat, and it's something they need to meet. In terms of opportunity, you know, government spends a huge amount of money, all governments, but they spend a lot of money. So if you're a defense company, for instance, you can sell your products to the government, or you can sell them to other governments, but only if your government says you can. Equally, if you're big pharma, you're in the pharmaceutical industry, you're producing products at huge cost, but again, you're reliant on government because either the government buys it and uses it in their National Health Service or their equivalent, or they say, no, you can sell it direct to the public through pharmacies, but only once we have sanctioned it. So it's all about really threat and opportunity.